Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Miami-Dade Mayor Daniella Levine Cava. The county has something called the Urban Development Boundary Line, or UDB for short. It prevents development into the western edges of the county, as well as protecting environmentally sensitive land down south around Biscayne Bay. Now, there are many reasons to hold the line. Not the least of it is that it protects our drinking water supply. And if you think traffic in Kendall is bad now, imagine even more development west of Kendall, which would add tens of thousands of more cars on the road. But when developers look at that vacant, environmentally sensitive land, they see an opportunity to make money. So there are very powerful financial interests that want to push that line out. Earlier this month, commissioners were being asked by a developer to move the line so they could build an industrial park near Homestead. I want to play a short clip from that meeting.
We do have a staff presentation that I'd be happy to deliver now or later if you'd like.
Staff, we're gonna hold for a second, and we're gonna go with the attorney.
The county staff wanted to make a presentation outlining potential concerns, but as you heard, County Commission Chairman Pepe Diaz blocked them from speaking and instead gave the developer's attorney as much time as he wanted to make his case. The commission then voted 9-3 to move the project along to the state for review. I asked the mayor for her thoughts on this.
So Jim, this was an initial vote, a transmittal to the state for their review by state agencies that might be affected. It comes back for a final vote. It is my hope that the commission will understand the enormity of this change. So far, as you say, it's been heralded as the great job creator. By the way, aren't we all now looking for people to work in jobs? Do we have a shortage of jobs right now in the economy? No. Do we need to improve transportation to get people to job centers? For sure we do. Is our housing in South Dade more affordable than other places? Yes, that's true. So all of that is true, but the idea of moving the line to create a commercial or industrial center is a false economy. It's not only that we need to preserve the farmland as a buffer for the environment and preserve the UDB, it's also that the location puts the bay at risk. We're talking about a Biscayne Bay that is on a lifeline, and we are doing everything in our power to protect that bay, convert from septic to sewer, prevent fertilizer runoff, and the health of the bay is the health of our economy. So this is a bad idea, and one that I hope that with more information, the commission will recognize the concern.
So again, I just want to be clear. Are you saying that since it was just a transmittal to the state that you do not have the opportunity to veto what the commission did? Could you not have made some sort of veto of what they voted on a week or so ago?
So as you say, the vote was 9-3. And that means that the vast majority of the board wanted to submit on first transmittal. However, in an initial vote, it was more lopsided, less lopsided, and more people were concerned. So I believe that the board wants to get the information from the state, and that there will be less of an appetite once it comes back.
I guess what I'm saying is, I guess people are looking for you to lead on the issue, and wouldn't have a veto lay down a marker that would have said, no, this is 9-3 or not. This is unacceptable. You want to override it? Go ahead, override it. But this is not acceptable to you.
So Jim, a veto does need to be sustained, and a 9-3 vote would not sustain a veto.
Well, they'd have to go back on the record again and give you an opportunity. And just on that point, I do want to ask, you didn't attend that meeting.
Jim, I want to be very clear that this is coming back and that I intend to hold the line.
Why didn't you attend the meeting in which that 9-3 vote was made?
Because my staff produced an outstanding report with all the information that, by the way, they were not allowed to present.
Exactly. County Commissioner Jose Pepe Diaz refused to allow your planning staff to speak.
That's right.
Let the developer speak ad nauseum about what he wanted to, spewing his propaganda. So, but what I'm guessing I'm getting to is, if you were there, would it not have been harder for the chair of the county commission to be so disrespectful to your staff? And couldn't you have then stepped in? Again, it's a question of are you have to be there to lead, and should you not have been there and not allowed Pepe to get away with being so disrespectful to your staff?
I agree with you, Jim. There was a great deal of disrespect, and I would say lack of understanding about the process. It seemed to be that the county had no role and that the county was supposed to be neutral. That's not the case at all. It is our job to follow the best guidance of our planning staff based on the rules that have been passed and the guidance from this commission. And I can only assure you, Jim, that I have this fully in mind, and we will see another day, and we will make sure that the right thing happens.
I would only, the last thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on, is, the notion that the county commissioners, were somehow ignorant or didn't understand the process. This is a county commission that has a history of being in the pocket of developers. And this is a developer that wanted this. These are commissioners who acceded to a developer's request. They can couch it in all sorts of terms that they want, but this is the old days of the Miami-Dade County Commission coming back and sensing a vulnerability, and that's what this is. There was no ignorance or misguided understanding of the process. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're trying to do something nice for a developer who in turn will be supportive of them.
So Jim, you and I share this concern about the environment, and I'm happy always to get your advice, and I can assure you we will be doing the right thing as we move forward.
Last question I was going to ask you about is, the state of Florida has a new Surgeon General. I'm just curious as to your reaction to the new Surgeon General, given some of his statements in the past, some of his positions when it comes to the efficacy, or he believes the lack of efficacy of masks, of vaccines. I'm just wondering if you're concerned at all that the state's new Surgeon General is putting you in a more difficult position.
We are very proud of what we've done here in Miami-Dade County. We've led the state. We've led many other parts of the country in being data-driven, providing the necessary protections. And the proof is that we have over a 90% vaccination rate for those eligible over age 12. And our positivity rate is coming down. We're at 7% now because of the good work that we're doing here, being science-driven. And I will continue to guide and lead our county to do the right thing.
Madam Mayor, that's not what you just said. There is not a 90% vaccination rate. If you look at those numbers, we all know they're manipulated, not by you, but how those numbers are presented. There are cities and within Miami-Dade County that is reporting a 150, 200, 300% vaccination rate. Physically impossible. The methodology being used to document 90% is a fallacy. It is not accurate. You do know that, right?
So we know that a lot of people come here and are visiting and get the vaccine, and many of them are visiting for many months at a time. So just to point out, so we do have the benefit of a lot of people who spend a good deal of time here and may not be permanent residents. But in addition to that, we know that while there may be some additional numbers in there from visitors, that we have good assurance that we're over 85%. We feel very confident about that. And the point is this: we have done an outstanding job of making sure that everybody could get access to this vaccine. This county is doing more than any other county in the state. We have multiple locations. We even have a 24 hours location. We are providing outreach and education, and our employees are aggressively, we're pursuing vaccination because that is the most important way to protect our residents.